I'll click the record button and say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good.
That's good.
Just hanging out.
To hear. Good to hear. So we're doing a deck doctor. Is this your first deck doctor?
It is my first Tech
Nice.
Doctor.
Nice. Okay, so we got Kirishima. Kirishima 2, still possibly one of if not the best character in the game. Certainly rocking the best symbol in the game, right? Earth is the best symbol bar none. Hit me with the elevator pitch. What's going on with this Kirishima list?
Yeah, so I mean, this Kirishima list is kind of... So I ran this at my Sunday provisional yesterday. Really enjoyed it. It's basically a set 2, just smashed in some of the clearly strong cards that came out of set 3.
Sure.
I was able to take second, but
Congratulations.
I think it just needs a little love as far as figuring out some of the harder matchups.
Okay. So when you say it needs a little love figuring out the harder matchups, can you go into that just a little bit further for me? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, so specifically, I had a harder time fighting Eijiro both on Earth and Void, I think it was. Eijiro 2, by the way.
Earth
It
and
was just,
all?
I don't know, this deck seems just... Earth and all, that's
Sure.
probably it.
The big red circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just struggled to seem to keep up with the amount of speed and damage that deck can kind of output.
Sure.
When the mirror matchup of someone just trying to wail on me, I'm struggling to find a way to keep up with that.
That is totally fair. That is totally fair. Learning the
Right
standards
now, I feel like my
wasn't,
foundation base is a little...
Go ahead.
Sorry, my foundation base just feels a little maybe too scattered. Kind of throwing in anything that felt like it could fit, so lots of 2s and 3s. So that could probably be cut down.
For sure. We're just looking. How big is the deck allowed to be? It looks like we're at the magic number here. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean that's I'm totally down to cut it. I just kind of kept it at that magic number for the event to give me a little luck. But I'm probably thinking that this deck could probably be good around that 64 card.
Sure. I dig that. What else did you fight, if I can ask?
So my hardest matchups that I lost to both was Eijiro on All and Eijiro on Earth.
Interesting.
I was able to handle Midnight, Eraser, I played a Dobby. These were all fairly easy, just swinging out and defending. But it's dealing, I feel like, with other hard-hitting aggro decks that I struggle with.
Interesting. Okay. Well, already I've got a ton of suggestions for you. Okay, yeah, we'll just take it and make it happen. I'm actually gonna go find one more card just to do the thing. This one, and then we can do this one. Okay. So first and foremost, how do you feel about Hard and Uppercut?
I really like this card, actually. It seemed good when I picked it up and added it to the deck, and as I played with it more, the 0 high block copied with the -2 speed on defense, but also the ability just to EX2 and make this thing basically unblockable with +4 damage, +2 off Kirishima is just a great finisher. So I've really, really been enjoying that card.
Okay. Yeah, I dig that. It also is an extra low for your chop, right? So then not only do they have to hold lows for chop, but they also got to hold lows for uppercut. That feels very cool. My question is, do you think it needs to be a 4 of?
Probably not. I think it definitely has a place in the deck, but I don't think it needs to be at 4.
Because I think having this at a 2 of and actually just taking these 2 Berserker Blows and putting them in your main board seems tight as hell.
I had a lot of people recommending I just meat board Berserkers, but I don't know. Never felt like it ever really did the trick.
Sure. So it's another one of those big. I mean, it's just as big. It's just, actually it's a little bigger, right? In both stat numbers, right? 3 low for 5, 4 low for 6, right? So it's like slightly more of a threat without losing all of it. You don't have to press the real button on this. The thing is like that Deadlock Enhance is just so potent. It can single-handedly win you the game if you like draw Berserker Blow as your opener and they go to 11 foundations. Blow up the 2 best ones, play 4 more attacks, and just kill them. This card's so good. As well as like your character is one of the characters that can play on low foundation counts better than anybody. And so like if you have like a face down that you just don't care about or you want to put in your discard pile for some whatever reason, using the top ability is not going to put you back so terribly much, right? Just because like of how good this card is. So there's that. I'm gonna not talk about your whatever. I'm gonna talk about just the cards that I've added, and then we can chat about it. So first and foremost, press conference. Press conference is just a combo extender card. We don't care if my opponent knows what my next move is because you were gonna play it anyways, and like it's just going to mess them up. Unnerving Energy is a good way to use your momentum if you can snag it in order to stop the string decks, which you said the 2 decks you had an issue with was Ojiro and Ojiro, a string deck. By overcommitting his board and then potentially being able to backswing him. Chivalrous Competitor is insane and needs to be in your deck because it stops destroyed and flipped cost ability. This is one of the most obvious power creeped cards in our card game. It's nuts. I'm going to skip one. We've got Sugar Rush Power Up. This card is how you push through games. You don't care about the foundations in your discard pile before you cycle. And so having like 1, maybe 2 of this in your main board is not a bad idea. It does mean that you need to play less foundations. And then I'm going to go back to Season the Advantage and then Apathetic, which aren't in your deck at all. Do you have like a reason you weren't playing at least Apathetic in your main board?
I had tried out Apathetic, and I'm fairly new at the game, and it never felt like this card ever did the trick. But now that I sort of understand the value of my opponent's foundations, that card I think definitely has a place. Completely
and totally agree. This card is one of the main reasons that the Earth symbol is so strong is because it's allowed to point and click your opponent's board and be like, you don't have that one. You didn't build that one, you built a blank one. And this is just that card with +2 speed. +2 speed, and you build the card out of your hand on your attacking turn, right? Like going Seizing the Advantage into Hardened Jab, picking up Seizing the Advantage with your Hardened Jab, playing Seizing the Advantage, and then rebuilding the card, playing Seizing the Advantage, playing Hardened Frenzy. This turn, I have given both my Jab and my Frenzy +2 speed. Kirishima's giving it +2 damage, selectively flipping the 2 best cards on your board. And if I check bad, it doesn't matter because like I'm still building as I'm playing cards. Insane. Actually insane. This card is what is going. This is one of the main reasons. Like the Earth is the best symbol in the game at the moment. It's just this. And then my last one is just really male bonding. After you take damage from an unblocked attack, build the top card of your deck face down. Exceptionally good with things like Jab. We don't mind having face downs because we're Kirishima. We'll just blow them up. And it's probably better than, excuse me, whatever Manly Passionate guys got going on, because this means that you had to hold foundations, and our character's just really good at like just face tanking, right? This says that I didn't get to build as big as I wanted to, and this card says that like I'm just down to take one on the chin, build out a bunch, and then even if I have to blow those up to redraw cards, I'm down because I had the foundation base to play with, you know?
Yeah, I mean, some of those cards just sound amazing. Now that I'm kind of seeing the holes in this deck, I see a lot of ways that makes the deck a lot stronger.
So from here, I'm going to skip Common Woods and Petty Squabble, and we'll come back to it, right? From here, was there anything from press conference down that you liked that you want us to try and fit into the deck?
Yeah, press conference actually, just first off, was already a card I was looking at after yesterday.
Sure.
I think that actually has a amazing place in this deck.
Okay. Anything else?
Seizing the Advantage is definitely a card that needs to be added in. That's just a matter of getting
Yep.
those physically.
Sure. And a lot of times when it comes to deck doctors, right? Do you ever play on Tabletop Simulator?
Tend to not to. I've only done it a couple times.
Sure. I think it's the best way to play the game and practice the game, personally. But, like, having what you think is going to be the final product of your deck on these deck doctors, I think makes the most sense to me. And then, like, you have, like, a buy list of, like, this is what I need to get eventually, right? So I think tossing in the triple seizing is totally rad. And you just, like, maybe toss the fourth one in the sideboard if you feel you need the stage control.
Yeah. Apathetic and Male Bonding seem like great inclusions. And for Male Bonding, is that just like a straight replacement for Manly Passionate, you think?
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in just a second. We'll get over here in just a second. I just got to know what I'm putting in so I know what I get to take out, right?
Gotcha.
And then Chivalrous, Sugar Rush, Apathetic, Unnerving. How you feel about them?
Chivalrous definitely seems really cool to add in.
Okay.
And then my only thought about Unnerving is just the timing of it, as far as having that ability of building it down, having that momentum to try and get that -2 seems rough to try and actually pull off.
Sure. It's just like the only bit of disruption that the Earth symbol has in order to fight Eijiro, right? Saying that his third one actually, like, he's got Breaker 2 on the third one, right? Or he's allowed to fail it, which is totally chill because it's a 6-hander that doesn't draw very many cards, so he has to, like, try and pick it back up.
That's true. I guess it is basically the only way we can make their cards a lot harder to play off that.
Yeah.
So I think it could probably find a place in there.
Okay.
And then Chivalrous for sure is definitely something that needs to find a place in the deck.
I think it easily could be a 2 of, and then Chivalrous. Yeah. I think I got it in here, the 2 of currently. Let's do this. We've got an 81 card deck. Perfect. We're done. Just kidding. All right, so let's now talk about your main board strats. First and foremost, triple face shield. How do you feel about this in the main board?
I feel like that card can definitely be cut down. More often than not, I just found it basically using it once per game, if any.
Yeah.
Just because it's so slow, and I'd almost rather just take the damage and then use a better block zone.
I completely agree. Homage at a 2 of is crazy to me. I think this is a crazy number.
Is it? You think you would go higher with that?
I'd go way higher. I'd go at least 3 minimum. And the only reason that I would go 3 homage is because I think, and I was talking about it on stream with Andrew last night, literally taking a Kirishima deck, like this Kirishima deck, and making it Kamui Woods and replacing that with Petty Squabble, right? You just, like, take the 3 homages and you just turn them into Petty Squabbles as, like, a 4-card engine switch. Of, like, yo, this is plus damage on all my moves, this is draw a card if I've been dealt damage, and then, like, Kami Woods plus Petty Squabble on my attack turn means that, like, I just, like, sculpt for attacks. Like, I just, like, refresh my hand on every single move. It's very, very cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. It can be fixed. Is a for a Manly Passionate guy. How much do you like this card is the big question, right?
When you get it off, it feels really good. Just when you get to get that block, build it down, so you add to your ability to block.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I have been struggling to find its actual use. More often than not, it feels like it gets blown up.
This is a beautiful one of, I think. I think everything you just described there is great. I think this card is very, very cool when it works. How many times have you died with one face up on your board? Right? Like, I'm sure that it happens
quite often.
And so, like, why not just have that slot be something else that could be having more value, like a male bonding, right? New training method. I think this is either a 3 or a 4 of. I think it's fine being a 3 of. I think it's actually personal preference. How do you feel about Super Rejuvenation?
Super Regen feels good, definitely, when you have it out. I think it probably belongs at more of like a 2 of than a 3 of. Just because so often you're going for the throat, I feel like.
I am a well-known, infamous Super Regen hater. I don't like this card. If I could cut it out of everybody's decks, I would. I think this card is really good versus the poke decks, but I think your deck is already good at fighting poke decks, like without super regen. I just don't think you need that, right? If your opponent is playing a poke deck, you just say that you partial block every poke deck and never have to actually block them, right? Or your deck is actually really just good at blocking. I think this card does not actually do anything versus the aggro decks, because I think being a quote 30 health character, if you have one of them out, just doesn't actually like do it, because the aggro decks, I mean, I was Eijiro, and on turn 2 I found 30 damage yesterday. Like it was just like, it was not hard even a little bit. I would cut this card, or at best I would put it at a 1 of, so you can maybe take it out. It's yeah. Tie Lift is rad at the 2 of. I think yours obvious is a 1 of, and you just sideboard the other ones. One with nature at a 4 of. Talk to me about this.
That card just feels incredibly good when you have multiple out. I really want to see them out on my stage, because when I'm able to pump as much discard and get that attack swing through, add 2, maybe 3 damage on top of my Kirishima damage and other damage, it's just incredible.
Sure. Any chance that I can convince you to make it like a 3 of and not a 4 of?
I could do 3.
Okay. Thrilled Spectator, what's up with this? What are you nervous about?
This is just okay. This is dealing with a lot of the new eraser weapons that gave me trouble.
Sure.
And also, it's a cheeky little 6 check, which helps get those strings off when it does happen.
Yeah.
And it's usually like the first thing is like, okay, was it a good weapon deck? If not, sideboard it out for something better.
That's fair. If we're trying to cut this number down, which we can just double check and see what number's at, we're at 76. What do we want this to be at? What's the goal here?
I think 65 plus or minus 2 is probably where I want that.
Love that. Carbo loading. Carbo loading. I think this card's neat. I don't think you need it. It's very, very cool when everything goes right. Like, I get what you're doing with it, but you actually, like, our goal with Kirishima is to destroy the face downs, right? Which means, like, we actually just, like, don't get any value when I carbo loading a face down, because it gets plus 0 damage, and then I destroy it and get the plus 2. So, like, and I just, like, cut the thing that gains you health. So I think we just have to cut this card.
Yeah, I would agree. It never really did all that much. It was kind of a cheeky add-in.
Prehensile Tail. Tell me about this card.
This word has the deadlock word on it, which I think just makes it great for any wall deck that I go against.
Ooh, okay.
Just being able to punch straight through.
Sure.
Or throw straight through, rather. And then we have all the face down foundations in the world, so getting that extra momentum or forcing opponent to get discard momentum just feels good, especially when I need to find that extra attack just to go for the kill turn.
Yeah, I missed 2 cards that I want to talk about. So thank you. I think this card is cool. I think this card's like a 1 or a 2 of at best. I think 4 is insane to try and play. Yes, it's a very good deadlock ability, and picking that card up is very good. But it's just doing the same thing as Celebrity Status, and Celebrity Status is a 1 diff, as opposed to a 2 diff.
True.
Right. Yeah. If I could, I would just cut it all together. But actually, the cool thing about this card is it forces your opponent to discard a momentum, and that's the good part of it, of the ability.
Right. I think a 2 of I could work with.
With that, we're gonna see how many. Oh, hello, Shivers competitor. We're at 70, so we have to cut 5 more cards, and they need to be lows and highs. Let's look at our block zones. Okay, let's talk about the cards that I did not add in. First and foremost, Talented Baker is insane in your deck. You get +1 speed if you've drawn a card. Your character just draws a card on its face, so all your moves get at minimum +1/+2. And then Snack Time does the same thing that Prehensile Tail does, of discard a card, your attack gets +1 speed and stun 1, and it also says flip a foundation, draw a card as a deadlock. So like, you can't, if you go to deadlock against a Snack Time deck, you have no excuse for not being able to block something, because you can just like flip your whole board and just like draw. Right? Not to mention your character says destroy a card, place a card, draw a card. Like this card is just like so good. Possibly, probably better than what Press Conference is giving your deck, just because of how your deck works. I think you are a string deck, and Press Conference is great at stringing, but your character just already does that. So I would actually probably take out this Press Conference for double snack time instead.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. And then Talented Baker is just very, very good. It's just like, it's quick to act that you don't have to be half dead for.
Yeah, initially I looked at Talented Baker. I just wasn't sure if it was worth that 2 diff for just +1 speed.
Sure.
But if it, I think more often than not, quick to act is not triggering when I'm trying to kill, whereas that is.
Yeah. Yeah, or at least like forces it makes your poke turns better, because like you get the extra speed a little earlier. Is it better than some of your other low blocks? I'm not positive, right? Like, is it better than One of Nature? Maybe it has like the same type of energy as One of Nature, where like Talented Baker, you don't lose a resource in order to trigger its ability, right? It's because you're just playing the game, you just get it. Whereas One of Nature, you have to discard that card for the +2/+1. You become like mini Midoriya. Things to think about. You easily could take out like one, you're so obvious, one of Nature, toss a double Talented Baker and probably feel fine, but I'm still trying to make cuts in your deck, so maybe trying to add in a card that we're not 100% in love with is probably just not the answer, you know? So,
yeah, I think I might hold off on that one.
Sure. If we're trying to cut 5 cards, right? If that's the goal, I think the easiest ones to cut would be something along the lines of, we could easily cut one more Face Shield, we could easily cut the Manly Passionate guy, we could cut the Super Rejuvenation, we could cut the You're So Obvious, we could cut one with Nature, we could cut both Prehensile Tails, we could cut one of, if not both, Unnerving Energies, and I think you'd feel great. I actually think if you did everything that I just suggested right there, you would play an incredibly aggressive deck because of thinning your deck to 65 cards with 24 attacks. You're going to draw very, very red hands. Which is cool, right? If that's the goal, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I think I'm really down to actually take out Manly Passionate and a Super Regen for sure, and maybe cutting down Faith to 1.
Face Shield to 1. And this is 67. Let's take Unnerving Energy and drop it down to a 1-of. I think that's a really cool card, but I just don't know how much it's going to do. How do I convince you to put Prehensile Tail down to a 1-of?
Would you potentially sideboard in extra ones against a wall deck in case you need that extra deadlock?
We could.
Because I think I could be convinced that way. Because I know that when I did face one wall deck, that just was such a way to blow through it instantly.
At the same time, 66 and 24 attacks is actually probably just like a good enough number to make it work. Let's look at our difficulty. 25. You've got a ton of spam, including seizing. Like, yeah, I think you're super good there. This is probably actually what I would run. I would give this a shot and see how this feels. Double check the Berserker Blow. The answer might be actually that you need another 4 diff as opposed to a 5 diff, because this is a 5 diff, this is a 5 diff, and so like trying to figure out like a decent 4 diff to play might be worth it. There's a couple of really good ones under the Earth symbol that I'm sure you could go and find. And we also like didn't add in Sugar Rush Power Up, which I think is also very good at getting the job done. Nor did we add in Apathetic, but we did get Season the Advantage, which does its job just a little bit better. But it's not. It is very proactive as opposed to you're allowed to be a little reactionary. You know.
Yeah, I'm really liking this as far as giving it some playtesting and trying it out.
I love it. I love to hear it. All right, man. Well, thank you for your support over on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for being in the stream as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad I got to do it.
You're very welcome, man. Stay on the call long enough for me to shoot this list over to you, and you have a great night, okay?
Yeah, you have a good one.
All right, peace.